Morning, everyone. Boker Tov, Chazak u'Baruch. So we're going to be doing the laws of the 3 weeks. So the first is, we mentioned a little yesterday about listening to music. So there's no listening to music during these 3 weeks, even if it's recorded music, and certainly if it's live music. But shirot v'tishbachot to Hashem from a person's mouth without any actual instruments is allowed. And even to listening to such music, so if you have a recording of someone singing, it's allowed. So there's a discussion with a cappella. So if a person needs, then a cappella is also allowed. So a cappella would be, just sounds from the mouth. But nowadays they can make, you could say the sound but then you could press it 100 times in a beat, and then you make beats and sounds all from the mouth. A cappella. So there is what to rely on for that type of singing. Dancing, etc., is also not to be done during this time. But when it comes to simchat mitzvah, a seudah for a brit milah, Shrat Hashem, tomorrow we have one, Shrat Hashem, seudah for pidyon haben, or chatan nekala, seudat bar mitzvah, that it's exactly the day of its bar mitzvah, not that it's pushed off and you just happen to want to do it during the 3 weeks, but it happens to be the exact day. Or a seudah of siyum masechet, you're allowed to listen to music. You're allowed to have music at those smachot. Ashkenazim are stringent not to have music in those situations as well, but Sfaradim allow it. And now moving on to weddings. Sfaradim are allowed to get married all the way up to Rosh Chodesh Av, whereas Ashkenazim don't get married the entire 3 weeks. But there are those, even Sfaradim, that are stringent not to get married. And the minhag in general is not to get married during the 3 weeks, unless there's a specific need to, because according to Sfaradim it is allowed. Because and it's not a siman yafeh to get married, start a new thing during the 3 weeks. But again, if it's needed, whatever the situation is, it is allowed, just not during the 9 days. But an engagement is allowed during the 3 weeks, because we don't want someone else to take her. If you're not going to get engaged to her, you're not going to lock it up. But not to make a seudah out of it, to have like a vort style. You have l'chaim style, some little food, crackers, not like cakes, but not an actual seudah, and not to have music at the erusin as well. Often people say, "Can I buy new clothes during this time?" So it's really the clothing that you would say a shehechiyanu on, because it's so new, it's so great for you that you would say shehechiyanu on it. So those type of clothing, the answer would be no. So like a suit or a new talit, etc. But if a person needs regular clothing, you need to get certain things. Even during the 3 weeks, you're allowed to. So you're not allowed to say shechiyanu. Shechiyanu is thanking Hashem for being in the moment. It's a bracha of simcha. This is not a time for simcha. So even on a new fruit, one shouldn't have the fruit to put yourself in that situation. But when it comes to Shabbat, you are allowed to have that new fruit, or you are allowed to wear that new item and say the shechiyanu, but still we try to be machmir even during the Shabbats of the 3 weeks. And lastly, is when it comes to shaving and haircuts, Ashkenazim don't get haircuts the entire 3 weeks, whereas Sfaradim do, except for Shavua Shechalbo, the week that Tisha B'Av falls in. Some Moroccans are stringent the entire 9 days. Now this year, that Tisha B'Av falls out on Sunday, so there's no Shavua Shechalbo. It starts from the Saturday night, which is already Tisha B'Av. So technically, one could shave all the way up to and including the Friday of Erev Shabbat Chazon, Erev Shabbat of before Tisha B'Av. But try to be, Rav David Yosef writes, try to be machmir, not to shave or get a haircut on Erev Shabbat Chazon, like you're coming in fresh to Tisha B'Av. That should be a little bit of a difference. And again, some Moroccans are strict not to shave or get haircuts the entire 9 days, regardless. But the halacha is that you are allowed all the way, including Erev Shabbat, you are allowed, but nahagu la'achmir, and some were not noeg la'achmir the entire 9 days. Okay, that's that for today, and that's the end of the halachot of the 3 weeks, and we'll go back to Yichot Shabbat tomorrow, B'ezrat Hashem. Minichat tonight at 7:05. Today is the Magen David second annual golf day. Registration opens at 9 a.m. and breakfast is at 9 a.m. and the tea time is at 10:45. So if you're going, it's a drive out there, so be there for 10:45. Gemara Shir tonight at 8 p.m. Different locations. If you are not one of the regulars and you plan on coming, message me, because we have a different location this morning for this evening, 8 p.m. Gemara Shir. Have a good day, everyone. And that's that. Tana de video.